Okay, my name's Akashi guys, and in this video here we're going to be going into the top 5 best teams of the month. I'm doing this before the battle hour, before I've even left, because I'm going to be in LA for the battle hour. But the Legends Limited that's dropping for the battle hour, which we're expecting is going to be something GT related, probably won't change the meta until the month after. So the top 5 teams in this video will be recorded prior, just want to emphasize that. But I do also want to put out the fact that it's not really going to change for the month of January. Let me just put out that there's no order to this list. So the top 5 teams, the 5th team could be better than the first team, so just keep that in mind. Let me know what teams you'd have for your top 5. This is what I think due to my experience of playing PvP. I've been talking too much already. Let's get into the video. Right, so the first team I'm going to be mentioning is Fusion Warriors, and for the video skippers I want to point out that there's no order to this list. But let me go out talking about Fusion Warriors. I'd say this is actually a very super powerful team. But the issue with it is that there's not many options. So if you don't have the options, you really can't cook, and that's just sad in itself. But let's go to the character list and I'll talk about your usable options and your bench. So if we're looking at the blues, I'd say VB and Super Gogeta, Ultra Super Gogeta at that, they are good bench options. Don't bring them out to fight, they're not going to cook. I'll tell you that for free. And I have Ultra Super Gogeta at 14 stars, he still quite struggles. Going into green, Pycon, Gogeta for the revival layer, they are really the bulk of the team. I'd say they'd be your main green, but I'd be running to double green and a lot of people do too. So G4, because of his Zenkai, he's able to keep up as well. Very valuable on the team. I'd suggest you put him on the team as well. But then you can Zenkai buff Pycon and Gogeta with this guy, and you can also Zenkai buff him with this guy. But what you need to know is that Super Gogeta, the green one over here, he Zenkai buffs Sagas from the movies and green, whereas G4 over here does Fusion Warrior and green. So just bear that in mind, because Gogeta won't be getting the Zenkai buff from Super Gogeta over here. Going into purple, SV is going to be your main man. If you have him 14 stars, he gives an extra HP buff that you don't have before that. But he has a good Z ability as well, so you want to have him on, and he's Zenkai buffs if you want to run a purple, which would be Ultra Gogeta blue. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but he can be used. I'd say he's pretty much kind of falling off as we speak. Purples are not valuable right now, but he is decent. Going into yellows, Gotenks here is a super good HP buffer option. You don't need him 14 stars, but he is easy to get 14 stars, and you'll still buff HP, but he does Zenkai buff yellows as well. Fusion Warriors, which you could be using Gotenks. I'd say Gotenks is pretty much your only safe option. Don't use Ultra Super Vegito, please. Just don't. But yeah, going into red, you must use Ultra Vegito blue. If you don't have him, I'd say pretty much kind of reconsider the team, and he gets Zenkai buffed by red Vegito. The Z ability here is super good as well. But you could also use Super Gogeta, but I wouldn't say he's anywhere near as good as the red Vegito Zenkai buff, because of the Z ability that red Vegito also applies to the team. So if we're looking at the team I'm using, I'd say this is probably what you're going to want to build. UG4, I'm running Pycon and I'm running UVB, but you can use the Gotenks if you wish, and UGB could be an option as well. But like I said, purples are not really valuable right now. But like I said at the start of this part, Fusion Warriors can hang with all the top tiers, but they don't have options, and that's the issue. So if you really don't have these three G4 Zenkai 7, Pycon Gogeta and UVB, you're kind of struggling. Gotenks is not really the option you'd want, but you can use him, and UGB, like I said, he's falling off as we speak. So that's the first team I'm mentioning. We got Fusion Warriors. The second team I want to mention is Sun Family. I'd say Sun Family, in my personal opinion, is actually a top 2 team in the game. If I was ordering it, I'm not ordering it, but it's just the number 2 team I'm mentioning for this video. Let's go into the character list. There's a lot of options in Sun Family, which I want to mention. So if we're looking at blue, Bardock and Goku is going to be your main option, but the new GT Kid Goku is super good, and you could use this Super Saiyan Goku if you have him like 9 stars, and I know a lot of people still like using Blue Beast, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend. If we're looking at Zenkai buffs, the blue Namek Goku over here, blue Saiyan, super good. Everybody uses him on pretty much any team there's a blue Saiyan. And then we also got Pan here, blue Sun Family as a Zenkai buff, super good as well. If we're going into greens, I'd really just recommend Bardock and Goku, but maybe consider using Goku and Vegeta here, both of them Tag Force and the super variant Evoken. But I'd say just stick to Bardock and Goku, really and truly. Revival Sign is here as well, but again, stick to Bardock and Goku. If you're using Tag Force though, you could Zenkai buff them with this guy, because he buffs GT green and he does have Sun Family and Z ability. And then I will also say Super Saiyan 3 Goku is also a good Zenkai buffer option. You don't really have options when you're talking about green though. If we're talking to purple, Gold Freeze is going to be your main option, but I wouldn't really use a purple because purple is very low in value right now. But Gold Freeze has the blue side, so just bear that in mind. And then this Kid Goku here, if you have him like 9 stars or higher, he can actually put in work. A lot of people sleep on him. I think he's super underrated, but I obviously don't use him because I have him low stars. Going into yellow, UI is going to be your main man, because if you're not using him, who are you using? but I will mention the likes of Forku and Future Gohan. They are much weaker versions that you want to have on your team. The new Pan as well, much weaker versions of units that you can have on your team. UI Sign is really just the best. UUI, Ultra UI Sign. If you don't have him, I really just kind of just not consider using yellow, I'll be honest. But if you're going into red, Beast, Gohan and Pan, they are the best options. A lot of people use Beast and Pan together, but then this team crosses into movies. So I didn't mention it, but I'm really going to cross over movies. But I think actually, nah, I'll give movies its own section. But yeah, Sun Family, that's pretty much it. This is the Sun Family team I'm running. So I run UI Sign leader slot because of his Z ability and Ultra ability. And we got Bardock and Goku there with Beast, Gohan, and then double Zenkai buffing Bardock and Goku. Then we also have a Zenkai buff for Beast. I'm not concerned about HP buff, but of course you could have one. If I'm going to the character list, I think the only HP buffer, if I'm not mistaken, is Pan. But let me fact check what she does exactly. So yeah, Sagas from the movies, Hybrid Saiyan, Max Base Health. So not everybody will get, but the leader slot option will get, just to put it out there. So yeah, this is what I'd be running. Sun Family, very solid team. There's a lot of ways you could put it around, but again, it just depends on what you have and what you don't have. But yeah, that's number 2. We've got Sun Family. Number 3 here is going to be very similar to Sun Family. Just take out a lot of the Saiyans, and there might be Vegetas here and there. But this is the Sun Family team. Sorry, this is the Saiyan team that I like using. I like using UI Sign, Rev Sign, because the revival layer is super good, and he also has Ultra Instinct, so as long as I don't get hit, I'm fine. And then Bardock and Goku for the indestructible layer. Then I'm Zenkai buffing Rev Sign alongside Bardock and Goku is Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and Forku is Zenkai buffing UI Sign, and then the Z abilities all go well with the Kakarot Goku being a Z ability HP buffer. But let me show you what options you've got, right? So if we go into blues, you could use the new GT Goku, Bardock and Goku, I'd say are your best option, but this Goku here at 9 stars as well. Then Zenkai buffers, you got Namek-Q, and you also have Blue Pan, but you have to consider the rest of the team, because remember, it's kind of crossing over to Sun Family, but if you have Vegetas, it doesn't work well. So just bear that in mind. Shallot, wouldn't really recommend, but you can make him work. You really have to work for it though. Going into greens, I already mentioned Bardock and Goku, but you can use G4. A lot of people have been using G4, he's super good. But you could also use Pikkon and Gogeta. I'd say they might be a more reliable revival unit than Rev Sign, but I personally just like the Ultra Instinct, so I use Rev Sign instead. But it's up to you really and truly. There's a lot of greens that you could use, UG4, Tag 4s, Rev Sign, Pikkon Gogeta. I've even seen a lot of people bringing out Ultra Rose if you want to put him on the leader slot. But yeah, Super Saiyan 3 Goku main Zenkai buffer, depending on who you're using. Pikkon Gogeta can be Zenkai buffer Super Gogeta, but then you have to consider the rest of the team in terms of the Z ability synergy, so just bear that in mind. Let's go into purples. Purples, you got UGB if you want to leader slot, I wouldn't recommend though. Go Frieza, leader slot, but I wouldn't recommend though. Purple in general, I wouldn't recommend. But they did Zenkai this new Super Saiyan, not Zenkai, they gave him a plat, the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So maybe if you want to use a purple, I'd say that's your best option. But apart from that, wouldn't really consider. Then yellows, UI Sign, I already mentioned him before, Ultra UI Sign. If you're not using him, who are you using? He's literally the best option in the game to use as a yellow. But if you're not using him, I like using Forku, but Forku is also a good Zenkai buffer for Sun Family. I believe he's Zenkai buffer Sun Family. Let me just fact check that. It might be Saiyan actually. Yeah, Saiyan. So that works the same. So UI Sign can get that. And I wouldn't really recommend anybody else if I'm being honest. A lot of people like to use Bardock as a Zenkai buffer as well. He's actually a better Saiyan Zenkai buffer because he actually includes Vegeta, straight Saiyan as well. So just bear that in mind. And then red, UVB is a good option if you want to leader slot him. And besides from him, I'd say 8 Vegeta. A lot of people sleep on 8 Vegeta, but he's actually super good. So don't forget about him. And if you want a HP buff, if you're running a lot of Gokus, Kakarot Goku is a good option. But you could also use EX Raditz. Where is he? Yeah, here we go. EX Raditz, HP buff, 18%. It's like the next best thing you can get. Just putting that out there for you guys that are looking for a HP buffer, because I know without the stars, you need the HP up option. But this is what I use. It's because I have Rev Sign high stars, 9 stars or higher. His blue card is scary, but he is super squishy, so just bear that in mind. But I prefer dodging. If I don't get hit, I can't lose, you know? So yeah. This is number 3, we got Saiyans. Number 4, I got Universe Rep, and I was quite tempted to move them out, but I feel like they're super consistent nonetheless. So we got here 17, Evil Ken, and UI Sign. UUI, even. Even though they had a whole year to themselves, it kind of feels like they don't have a lot of options. It's quite wild, because there's either the top tier options or nothing. Really how PvP is looking is quite sad, but that's what it is. Let's go to the character list though. You want to turn on Spock in Ultra Universe Rep. Blues is really just 17. If you're not using 17, you're cooked. Green, you can use Rev Sign. Very good option, I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't recommend anybody else besides from Evoken, which I already had. And then purple, you could use Gold Frieza, an underrated option. You could also use the purple UI sign. And then if we look at yellow, it's obviously going to be UUI. And then red, I really just got Bergamo as a HP buffer, but you could use Ultra Hit or the MUI if you're running triple UI. Golden Frieza is a good option for yellow as well, but he's going to hold you back when UUI exists, everybody else is using him. Now, if I'm going to my party formation, I don't have the team on deck, but I have it in my teams. So I've got this team, I call it Instinct. It's basically Universe Rep, and you can see here it's just triple UI. I'm not using MUI because he's a weaker option in my opinion. Explosive Green on the purple UI is so much safer. I got Rev Sign 14 stars, UUI 14 stars. Even if I didn't have UUI 14 stars, 9 stars is good. 10 stars, sorry, 3 copies. He's gonna get squishy after boost. Green Rev Sign 9 stars or higher. Everyone here is squishy, but they do crazy damage and it synergizes super well, and you won't be getting hit unless it's a skill issue for you, you know. So Universe Rep, they've got those 2 options I just showed you. The first kind of team I showed you, you could also use Purple Jiren. I don't think I mentioned him, which was kind of a slip up, but Purple Jiren is one of the main cores on the team. 17 Purple Jiren Iroken, that free, super good. Let me even build it just so people can seriously visualize it. So you got 17 Evoken Jiren, works very well. You might want to take off Beerus, put UI sign on the team, where is he, and then take this guy off and put Bergamo. A very solid team right there, working smooth, nice and smooth. But yeah, this is what I'd be running right here as well. Another good option that a lot of people run. Universe Rep, it kind of feels like they don't have a lot of pieces, but they really do. But yeah, that's number 4 on this list. We got Universe Rep. I should have expected it as the last team, but we do have one honorable mention. So from the movies, it's just a very consistent team. They get buffs pretty much all year round, at least 2 buffs. They were feeding movies and it didn't even feel like it, but they really did. But yeah, let's look at the Paragon Gogeta. You must run him if you're running movies. He's so good. But you could substitute him for, we got UGB. A lot of people like to use him, but I wouldn't recommend. There's Goku here. If you have him 9 stars, can put in a purple regardless. I've been saying this the whole video. Purples are down bad. They're just regressing in value. Going into yellows, we got the Gammas. People underrate the Gamma, and then besides from that, it's pretty much just washed, but I wouldn't really consider using yellow. But here in the pan, you know, Zenkai buffers, Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, Ultra Super I said Ultra. I had to scroll to the bottom. I don't use him. I don't use movies. I never summon for him. So now that we got to the Biod, but he's a good option. He's probably the best blue. Blue is washed, but green and red right now, 2 elements really dominating the game. I'm not saying he can't be used Janemba at all, but a lot of people when they're running movies, they run green or red. And I would run, if I was running movies, Pan to buff Pycon and Gogeta and Beast, type pre and post, blast and then strike. I'm talking a lot about the team, but you guys can see why it's great. The 5th team, Sagas from the movies. Now this is an honorable mention. The last team I wanted to mention is GT. Now GT hasn't fully formed, but they are already prospering just off this Goku dropping. I'm investing in this team very big. The Goku, I love him. I really want to get more copies of him. I might not be able to, but I'd really like to. But G4 as well, the Zenkai, and they even dropped the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. GT is looking super good. But let's go into what GT has, right? If we go to the character list, I have all the GT characters, so that's good. If we're looking at blue, you're obviously going to run the GT Kid Goku, but you can use Nameku, who's a blue Saiyan, as a Zenkai buff of him instead of Pan, because it's better. If we're looking at green, you can use G4 over here. Tag 4s are also a good option, but G4 is obviously better. Purple now has Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Very good option, I'm not going to lie. People thought he'd be trash, but make sure to use his plat. I think I said Zenkai earlier, but I mean plat. But yeah, he's Zenkai buff GT. So even if you wanted to use 17, he could be a Zenkai buffer, but don't use 17. Just go for the Goku if you're going to use a purple. I wouldn't recommend a purple. I've been saying it the whole video. Purples are on a down spiral. Going into yellow, we got 4Q. Lots of people use Pan as well, but I think 4Q is just better. In the cycling, the buffs, double saves. Me personally, my playstyle suits 4Q. And then for red, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. But besides from that, if you're not using him, don't bother. I would even put Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. If you look at what I was using, this is what I run. I don't use Super Saiyan 4 for Vegeta. But of course, it's up to you. Hey, Goku, chill out, bruh. Bro's so stressed. But yeah, GT final team of the video. Let me know what you guys think about the list. This is an honorable mention though, but by honorable mention, I want to point out that this team could hang with all the other teams that I mentioned, but I put GT at honorable mention because they're missing one extra piece, which they will be getting for the battle hour. I'm recording this prior, like I said at the start of the video. But yeah, man, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, man. I did my best to give you guys the top 5 best teams of the month. This is just my opinion, but let me know what you guys think about the teams that I used for this video. Press the subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 100,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching the video, man. My name's Akashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.